Today we're working on this engine. This one was listed as maker unknown, and also I don't have the equipment to test it, blah blah blah, so it may or may not run. So I took a chance on this. Naturally I got it for a really good price, and it all depends on whether you like PA1s or not. I like them. So it looks like it's DCC. I don't know for sure. Like I said, I don't even know if it runs. So it's a little bit dusty, but it's not too bad. There's a little bit of dust there, but it's still not too bad. The shell seems to be in good shape. It's got its couplers, it's got its horn, the rear couplers there. I've got all the little ladders, which is a good sign. And then all the little ladders, and then it looks to be reasonably clean. I recognize this, of course, right away as a Kado. So I bid on this because the worst thing that could happen is I have to order a couple of parts from Kado directly and pay a little bit and then get this going. I've got other PAs that I can use for parts for today, so while the parts are coming in, I can still run this engine and quote unquote borrow parts from another engine. So I'm a little curious. Let's just go put this on the track and see what it does. You guys know if it's a DC engine, it's going to make a really ugly sound when plugged into the DCC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the program track right away, and then we'll see what's been happening with this. So that's going to tell me exactly what's happening. So we'll go 1 standard. Suspense. Oh, manufacturer 143. Excellent, we're in. So there is a decoder and it's communicating, so that's great. So next, decoder version 027. So that's awesome. I can go on the manufacturer website and get the instruction sheet. Set up short address, yes. 03, that's perfect. Activate this address, yes. If this thing works, it's going to be a short video. 5752. Let me just confirm that. That's perfect. No need to do anything. Enter. Activate this address, yes. And then we're going to quit all this other stuff. And we're also going to escape that. And escape. And then let's try, I actually have to connect to the locomotive. So select loco. 5752, enter. So let's try moving forward, because this decoder could have problems, or the locomotive itself could have problems. Oh my god, it's going to be a short video. And it's a decoder with sound on top of that, but it does have issues, so we're going to fix those issues. The worst thing that could happen is I've got a decoder that I can run with no sound. Around 10 it started moving for me, so give it a chance to move. But other than being a little noisy, that drive seems to work fine. Let's just check out the headlight. It's the only thing I have left to check. Headlight. That's perfectly. Hey, while we're here, let's check the bell. So it is a local wet sound. Look at that. The bell, the sound is very, very pale. It's very low, but I think it fixed that. Program the CVs differently. And I've got no sound. Look at that. I've got no sound, but it's still moving. That is okay for what I paid for that. I don't mind getting a worn out decoder that sort of kind of works. I actually only wanted it to be DC. Not DC, but just DCC, no sound, I would have been happy. That's awesome. So I'm going to clean it. For sure, needs a good cleaning. I'm going to clean it, check all the contacts, and then we'll see if we can fix this with some programming. I was just about to turn off my NCE power cab when I remembered you can do a factory reset. So that should reset all the CVs to a factory setting. Well, we'll see how that works. You should actually always do that when you get a used DCC engine. So let's do that. To do the recovery program, you have to go on the program track. And for the NCE power cab, it's called a recovery program instead of factory reset. So as you can see, I have all these options. Option 7 is the recovery program. Do you want to do a recovery program? Yes. I guess I hit the wrong button. So we'll go back to 7. Yes. So you can see it's working. That doesn't take too long. It's actually worth waiting for. So it's just going through every CV and it's just resetting them. Looks like it's done. So let's go back to regular track. Let's see if that changed anything. That's not good. Oh, I know what I did wrong. When I did the factory reset, actually reset everything, even the unit number. So that did that. So I had to redo the programming, reprogram the factory the address, reprogram the address. Now it's working. So I'm going to clean it and then we'll bring it back when it's clean and then we'll redo some programming. There are other ways of cleaning the wheels, but I prefer to get in there, take a good look at everything. So these, they come apart just like F units. They have little tabs you have to put, well, I'm assuming they have little tabs you have to put your screwdriver in there. I like to use toothpicks. So there's the little tab, I can see it right there. So I put my toothpick right there and that will allow the shell to come out, presumably. I'm not sure there's a tab on this side. Looks like maybe not. That means there should be a tab on this side. And I should be able to just lift this just a little bit. And that will allow me to get in there. So I just lift it a bit bring out my other toothpick, slide it in there, and let's see if I can lift this out. Use gravity as your friend, of course. And we'll take a look at that. Looks like they did a pretty good job. S6070, I have no idea what that means. Oh, incidentally, manufacturer 143 is MRC, so I went on their website and I was able to get the instructions for the decoder. So that's going to help me to bring it back. Well, it looks like the guy did a pretty good job installing this. I can't say anything bad about this. Usually, you would remove the board and the contact strips and then remove these two blocks, and then that makes it easy just to lift the little tabs. These little tabs here, they hold the trucks together. But since the other guy did kind of a good job here, I'm going to try and be lazy and lift these out and then try to remove the pin. Just try to pry the pin, see if I can get the trucks out that way. Also, these are the little pins that hold your shell to the frame. Look at that fully detailed interior. This is a nice locomotive. And on the frame itself, there's one little pin here, nothing on that side, nothing here, and there's a little pin here. So this is what holds your shell together. So everything's very small. So let's pry on those pins. This is the very lazy way of doing this. You just pry under here and it will release your trucks. Give you a better look at these pins. So these pins hold your truck in place. You just pry under here. This is the very, very lazy way of doing things. So I have access to the worm gears here. They don't look too dirty. Nothing to worry about. I am going to give them a little bit of lubrication here. So this engine, upon first look, looks like it's got everything's in really, really good shape and it's very clean. So probably I will be able to get away, very clean. Probably I'll be able to get away with just fixing things with some programming. Now I spend a lot of energy on the trucks here. Oh, there's even an arrow telling you which way to put it. Obviously the coupler goes towards the outside. But everything looks to be in really good shape. Let me just pry under here. There's 4 tabs holding the side frames together, so you just pry on them very gently. They should come right out. You can hear them snapping out. This is a nice engine, good performer. You know, you can do a drop-in decoder, switch them to DCC, or change the board and they go right back to being DC. That was my option if the decoder happened to be bad. It's not great, the decoder, but it's not that bad. This part looks a little dirty, but I think nothing to write home about. These, I usually don't do a lot of cleaning on them. I'll just run my finger over them. It doesn't look too bad. I think just running my finger over it will be great. Although when I put them back together, I make sure. So these have quite a bit of lubrication on them. That I do not recommend. I may actually clean them under with my toothbrush and some dish soap, because I don't like having lubrication on that. Same with these journals here. Take a look at them, see if there's any dirt on them. So this is where I spend the most of my time. It's on on this, on the wheels. So the wheels, we'll re-gauge them at the same time. The wheels, I just take them out, and they're all the same. So if you mix them up, it's no big deal. And then I'll do also some dish soap with my toothbrush on all these gears, but they seem to be okay. It doesn't look too dirty. You see, there's a little bit of dog hair in this. Not a lot, not enough to keep the engine from running, but if you lubricate it, it kind of attracts this. So I can't have that. I'm taking that out. The lubrication actually attracts dirt, and the wheels, although they don't look dirty, we're about to find out. See, it's got a little bit of dirt on it. Put that to a different spot, to the other side. So yeah, the lubrication on those, you don't need it, and it attracts dirt, so not necessarily good. Yeah, they're not the worst that I've seen, but still need a little bit of help. On last week's video, somebody suggested I get a Kato sound box. So I looked at a couple of reviews of them, and at first I thought not really great because the sound comes from outside the locomotive. But you know what? It's good because you get the sound card, which is about $30, and you can use more than one locomotive. So if you're a guy like me, you have more than one locomotive, well, you can use the sound card for all your locomotives. So that saves you, it costs you $30 instead of having to put 100 decoders. 100 decoders at, let's say, $100 each is what? 100 times 100 is what? $10,000. So it sure adds up. But also the sound box, it's really cool because you can use it for N scale, HO scale, and also Z scale. So you can get big sound out of your Z scale engines if you're into that. I'm gonna put everything back together now, and these actually meant to be very easy for the people at the factory to work on, and I'm gonna say they are. It is a great design. They will use the same design for years. There was an older, of course you need the little connector pins for it to work perfectly. There's little tabs that hold these together. Oh, and you have to watch them because they have an orientation. The little pin is not exactly on the center there. So just to make sure that I got it right, we'll compare with this one. It's nice to have the video so you can go back and check, because so this one should go like so, which I accidentally got it right. Yeah, so you have to be careful. These are not 100% symmetrical. Well, actually, maybe they are. They're pretty symmetrical. Make sure you got the little axles in their journal as you put them back together. I'm not gonna say very important, but important. Then the little journal boxes, little journals in their boxes. So you can line them up properly. So that feels pretty good. And then we'll put the side frames back on. Now, do you guys like details? If your engine, say RS1, has little squares here, right here. Those were friction bearings, but you can see these are round. These are roller bearings. High tech for the 1940s. Because don't forget, these are heavy, so they have to be able to hold the weight. That is why they would use the friction bearings. That feels really good. Test them with your fingers. That feels really good. So I will do the other truck off camera. It's the exact same process. Also, don't forget to wash your shell. I just wash it with my toothbrush and some dish soap. This shell is in really good shape. That is awesome. I need this to be a B unit, so I've got everything I need to do it, including the two trucks with couplers at both ends and the B unit shell. So this is my leftover B unit drive. It's going to become an A unit, but I'm going to go try it on the track. It's DC only. I'm going to go try it on the track just to make sure that everything works well. Runs very smooth and quiet. So now I can put the shell back on, and it's going to be a very nice A unit, although it's going to be an A unit with no light, but I can use this. Very nice. So I'm going to put this back together. As you can imagine, these are meant to be easy for the people at the factory to put back together. So you just snap this in here. Just make sure it's snapped in properly. And then that's that. We're going to go try this out on the track. Yeah, they do make these easy for the people at the factory. Now I got my instructions, and I can go on the track and reprogram everything. I'm going to do one more recovery program, and then I'm going to look at all these CVs. So these CVs, it's important to get the instructions for that. So the short address I'm not going to mess with, but all these CVs here, I'm going to go back and reset them to their factory setting. For example, here the horn type. I'm going to go back on the program tech, see what it's set at, and then I'll hit number 13. Same with the horn volume. I'm going to hit make sure that it's at 12. So the horn volume is CV51, and make sure it's at 12. So that, I've got quite a bit of CVs to do. It's a little bit of tedious work, but I'll show you a couple just so you can see the procedure. So we'll do CV number 51. See, the value was 3. The factory setting was 12, so we'll go put 12. Enter. Now I've got to go ahead and do all of them like that. So that worked like a charm. I'm up and running. Now it doesn't sound very good. Probably something happened to the speaker that it didn't like. But everything works as it should. It's got the startup sequence, shutdown sequence, moves forward and backward. So I need it to be the B unit, so that's not really a huge problem actually. That's exactly what I wanted. So I'm still going to do some testing and tweaking, but like I said, pretty happy with where I'm at, because I'm going to be running this with no sound, behind another engine that has sound, so that's exactly what I wanted. There is something I want to fool around with before I put the shell back on, is in an MRC decoder there are 6 prime mover sounds, and you can change them while the engine is running. You go program on domain, you just change CV 1, 2, 3 to any of these. So I'm going to put my train in the back and I'll run it, and we can fool around with the prime mover types. It's a big train, it's a 10 car set, but it can pull that no problem. So value 0 is for EMD, which you sound a little bit better like that. And then EMD 645E, and then number, if you press 1, it's EMD 645. So we'll do number 1. Which sounds about the same, honestly. I think there is something wrong with the speaker. And then number 2 is for EMD 710, which is what we had before. Number 3 is the Alco. Alco 244, and then there's an Alco 539 also, which is number 4. We'll try that. That makes nothing. That's not very good. Number 5. Is also pretty quiet. So I guess we'll go back to number 2 here. Which sounds kind of okay. And then you could do the same thing. There's bell types and horn types. But for what I need, this is pretty good. So now I'm going to stop this, and we can put the shell back on. This is my very, very favorite thing to do. Take an engine that's not running and bring it back. So awesome. And now it's time to run some trains. It's a little weird to see a B unit running by itself like that, but relax, I have a plan. Next week I'll be doing the A unit for this, and it will be super nice. So I'm set up for next week. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. see you soon.